Okay, good morning everyone. So last time we have finished the twisted box, flow along curve, flow object, and finally split, trim, and boolean split. And this time we can use all these simple commands to model a tank. Let's create a new file. Go to perspective. And I want to import some reference image. So let's just type in pictures. And once you type in pictures, it will show you a panel, and you can select the image you want to import them into Renesas. So that's a reference image about a little simple tank. It's pretty simple, doesn't have much detail, but we can use the command we already know to model this one. And for detail part, yes, we can do that later if you have more interesting about how to model the detail. Actually, for the detail, it's not that hard at all. I think let's catch the basic geometry first, and then we can deal with the details. Alright, so first things, let's imagine the side view. Let's create the body part first. It's very simple. Let's go to the side view, probably the right view as well. Let's just using create a cube. And to the side. Okay, that's a cube we create. That's the cube we made. And let's rotate this one into 90 degrees. So probably it will fit the image we use. 90 degree. And it's supposed to be more flattened. So let's scale in the blue directions. Hold on the blue box. Okay. And then let's cut off these geometries. Let's cut off this area. I will scale up a little bit. And then go to the side view. If you remember, we can use in split or trim or boolean split to do that. So let's use in curve, and I will cut in these directions. Create a curve. You want to use that one for cutting, and this part as well. Okay, so now let's using trim to cut. Select the trim, select the cutting object, which means this curve. Press enter, and cut off this area. Okay, and also for this part as well, we have to use in curve to cut in. It doesn't have to be very precise because we just make a visual model. Ctrl T again, select the curve, press enter, cut off, and cut. Now we have the basic geometries, and let's type in cap. When we are using cap, if you remember, we can using cap to fill the holes, fill the planar hole. So basically for now, all the holes on the surface, they are planar. So we can just using cap to fill the holes. So now we have these geometries, but we have this kind of round corner. How can we do that? If you remember, we have a command which name fill a surface. That's using this one. And the radius for now actually is very important because we don't have a real scale. So we can just the only thing we can do is try. So maybe 10. Let's try 10. Choosing these two surface. Well, I guess somehow probably it doesn't work. Let's do that again. Fill that. Curve radius is too small, right? So I will change maybe 3. Okay, it looks fine. And for the back side, I will do that as well. Okay, so now we have the basic geometry, and I want to delete this area. So let's use in trim again. Select the surface we are going to use, which means this curve, and this surface, and this surface. Press enter, and cut in the object we don't want to leave. Now we have the basic geometries. Let's select all of them, press Ctrl J, join them together. And the next part, the things we are going to do is this part. Okay, So how can we do that? That's very simple, easy. Let's create a box again. You can draw any shape you want, but usually I would make this one bigger. And using move this one, make this one align with the middle points. Let's switch to the shader view so you can see more clear. Put this one in the middle and move this one forward. Probably it's supposed to be smaller, so I will scale in the Y directions and also flatten this one. Okay, and for now, probably you might think, okay, it's not very precise at all, and also it was floating on the sky. It's not the things I want, but anyway, we can adjust that later. So first things, the things we are going to do, probably for this kind of corner, we can do them in the end. But first things, the things I want to do is cut the planar shape. So let's go to the top view, and I will delete the curve. Here, here. Let's go to the top view and go to shading mode. And the things I want to do is to cut off this part so that we can have the geometry more or less like this one. So let's do that. I will hide the body, Control and H, using the quality line to draw the cutting lines. And for the other side, I'll just use a mirror. Hold on your Shift key or choosing another side of the middle point. And for this part as well, let's do that again. Select this one and type in mirror. Alright, so now let's cut. Press Ctrl T, select the cutting object, press Enter, and cut off the object. So now we have the basic shape. And let's type in cap again. And it will help us to cap the planar holes on the geometries. So for now we have this one, but also for the side view, let's call out our object. For the side view, probably we also need to cut in this direction and this direction, so that make the geometry looks like the things we want. So let's using the cutting line again, using the polyline to cut the object. Once again, this one doesn't have to be very precise. If you want to be very precise, probably you need to find the elevation, the side view of the tank, so that you can use that one as a reference. But for this one, I think it's just visual model, so I will not do very precise, operate this one in a very precise way. Let's using Ctrl T again, choosing the cutting object, press Enter, and cut the object. Right. Now, select them and press Cap. Okay, so let's delete all the curve. For now, we don't need them anymore. And move this one down. And for now, the things I want to do is turn on project, and you will flatten everything into zero plane. So when we are going to flat, Rhino City will help us to catch the points on the buttons. If you didn't turn on, probably you cannot catch the points of the button object. So now we have this one. And we can also make some detail, some cool detail. For example, like create a cylinder and rotate this one to 90 degrees and move this one. Let's go to the side view. Move this one up and move this one. Move and make this one snap to the center point. And for now, they are not in the center positions, so let's move again. Go to top view, move. And if you want to catch in a very precise middle line, let's draw a reference line to help us. So now let's move this cylinder to the center point. If you cannot see, let's switch to wireframe mode. Let's use a move again. Okay. Alright, so for now, it was on the back side. Probably let's make this one shorter or longer. It's up to you. So finally, let's create this tube. Let's using this cylinder again, okay? Copy. Hold on your Auto key using combos for copy. Rotate in 90 degrees. And scale both in the blue and red directions. Blue and green directions. Sorry for that. Let's type in probably 0.25. 0.25. If you think it's too small, you can enlarge it again. I would say maybe 1.2. And enlarge, make this one longer. And I want to create this kind of transitions in the end. So let's enlarge this one. Okay, and maybe more details right here. Just copy and just select all plan and place Boolean union. Okay, so now we have this tube and rotate a little bit. If you want, you can control the degree in a very precise way. Let's type in -3. Oh, sorry, maybe just 3. Move this one up. So now we have these geometries. And I also want to have some detail on the side. So let's create a cube. And now we can turn off the project. Grab a cube. Move this one to the side. For now, the things I use, just using cube and the Boolean split, all this kind of a simple command to create this tank. So actually 3D modeling is very simple, but if you want to make something super precise or super complete model, for sure it's way more complicated. So let's select this one and type in mirror. Okay, and I will select all of them. Maybe not include the tube, and using Boolean union. So now they become one symbol, one object. So I think for now it's pretty much finished, and then probably we can also create another cylinder right here, because I think that's the entrance for the tank. Let's rotate this one to 90 degrees and hold on your Auto key so that you can copy this cylinder. Scale down in Z directions. Move this one up. Right here. So that's the entrance. Let's select everything again and unions. Okay, so let's create about the track. So for the track, the things we need to do is using curve to create a basic shape, and also we need to create a unit for the track. So how can we do that? First things, let's go to the side view. Okay, so here is the tank we have for now. Let's go to the side view and let's using the polycurve. And basically I think the geometry is more or less like this kind of shape. So I will hold on your shift key. You can draw in a vertical line, probably something like that. So that's the things we have. And let's go to the perspective view. And if you remember, we can just hold on this blue dot and you can extrusion. So now we have this part. Okay. And let's move this one down. And also, I hope we can have some corner right here. So let's go to fill surface. Select this one. Press enter again, select both of them. Alright, select all of them and choosing Ctrl J to join the curve. For now, it's inverted, but it doesn't matter. The things we're going to do is using this shape to create the track. So how can we do that? So first thing is we need to copy the border. We need to use the border as the reference line. So let's delete the original border, original curve, select this one, and you go to curve, convert, or curve from object, duplicate border or duplicate edge. And I will choose in duplicate edge. Choosing the edge you want to duplicate and press enter. And now you have the edge right here. We don't have to move them. Let's go back, put them into the same position. Press Ctrl J to join all of them together. And go to side view. Because basically it was the track supposed to be a closure surface. So we need to use the mirror to mirror the up side to the bottom side. Let's type in mirror. And maybe choose this point as the mirror point. Hold on your shift key. Copy the curve to the bottom side. So now we have these two curves. Alright. So for now, let's move this one a little bit to the right side and using Ctrl T, trim. Select both of them, press enter, and delete the things we don't want to leave. Okay, so finally, let's join them together. So now we have the basic geometries. And if you want to make this one become, let's say, probably more has a round corner, we can use this one as well, fillet curve. It has the same function just like a fillet surface. So we can use this one to make this part become a round corner. Choose this one, and radius I think is 3. So now we have a round corner. Okay, so now if you remember, here is the trick. The things we're going to using is flow. We are going to create a single unit. Maybe it can be a very simple cube, just like this. Here is the unit. And let's move this one more or less, probably on these directions. You can take a look. Probably have to try, and this is experience based, so I cannot tell you the exactly number. So maybe make this one smaller and the center. Sorry, center. Right, and rotate in 90 degrees. And move this one to the center. You move the middle points of this object to the nut of this track. Alright, so for now, that's first thing we need to do is copy this one. And probably we have measured the length of this object. So how to measure the length of this curve? We can go to dimensions and choosing linear dimension. But for this one, we can just measure the linear stuff. So if I want to know the length of this curve, let's just type in length. It's around 58 millimeter. Actually, it's super small. So if you remember, first thing we need to do is to measure to change the unit setting right here in the option part. But for now, we didn't do that, but it doesn't matter. Let's just draw a line. So this line is supposed to be around 58 in length. So let's type in 58 or maybe 59 as well. Okay, and 0. Sorry, this is the position. So basically we should not do that. Let's do that again. Let's draw a reference line first. Here is the reference line, or we can just using this cube as well. Let's just copy, hold on your Alt key and move this one into 59. So actually it's around here. And let's draw a line. Here is the baseline for us. And let's copy the object. Type in copy. And actually, I want to leave a little space between these two objects. So I will move this object forward, maybe just one, or maybe too much. Maybe just 0.25. Okay. So now let's copy the object. Do the copy stuff. Actually, we can using arrays. There is array tools to do this kind of repetitive copying. But probably inside Rhinoceros, the arrays is a little bit complicated for you guys to understand. So I will just do this kind of do these things in a manually way. And let's just select everything and just using copy. And probably it will be longer, but it doesn't matter. I will just delete. Alright, so now we have the object. Select all of them. And Ctrl G for group. Let's draw the lines again. I will draw lines again, endpoint to endpoint. So now we have this reference line, the baseline, the object, and also the target line. Let's put this one, using move tools, move the endpoints of the baseline to these points. And you can choose the start point you want. So for example, like this midpoint right here, and we can also move this track to the midpoint as well. And let's start to do, probably it's better to move this one to this kind of a notch. Let's move again, and let's type in flow, or go to transform, flow along curve. Choosing the object we want to flow, basically means this group, press enter, and choosing the baseline right here. And it's better to choosing the endpoints or start points, and finally choosing the target curve. And now you get the shape you want. And this part probably it was overlaid, so which means the length of this curve, this track is too long. But it doesn't matter. Let's shift Ctrl and G to degroup, to ungroup this object, and delete the unnecessary part, and it will be fine. So now we have the track. Let's select all of them, Ctrl G, make them become a group again, and hide the ISO curve. Move this one inside, and maybe move this one down. If you think this part is too small, you can just enlarge it. So now we have the track, and it's supposed to be longer, so let's make this one longer. Alright, but now it's just a simple surface, so I want to make this one have some thickness. Let's use an offset surface. For offset surface, in the create solid geometry for you. So you can click to change the direction for extrusions, but I will just leave this one like this. And let's type in point maybe 5 and press enter. Okay, pretty much done. So finally let's adjust the width of this shoulder using scale 1D for scale. And let's go to the side view, create more cylinder as the wheels. Draw the base and then extrusion, and for this part as well. If you want more, for sure you can create more. It doesn't have to be very precise, just manually do that. So let's select all of them and adjust the length of the wheels. Okay, so now we have finished this side. Let's delete the reference line, select all of them, and using mirror to the other side. So our tank is pretty much finished. And if you think the proportion is a little bit weird, for sure you can adjust by yourself. Let me move this one up. And probably this part is supposed to be smaller. Let's type in maybe 0.7, too small. Alright, doesn't matter. Let's just leave this one in this way, okay? So here is about a tank. We're just using super simple command to do that. So I hope you can try to using the command we already have to model something. It's very important. If you don't use them, you don't understand their inner meaning and how to apply them into your model work. We need to use them first. Probably the result is not that good at all. But once you apply, once you practice, it will get better and better. Okay, so here is about the practice for the for extrusion, flow, and trim. And this is the result. Let's go to render view, take a look. Very simple, but not too bad, right? Okay, so that's all for today. See you next time.